What is habit stacking and how can you implement it in your life? Let's do it. Let's start with sort of an origin story for habit stacking. Denis Diderot was a French philosopher in the 1700s, and although he lived most of his life in complete poverty, when it came to his daughter's wedding, he needed to make some money. So he sold the only thing in his possession that was worth something, his enormous book collection. And he made a lot of money. So he covered for his daughter's wedding, and then for himself as a treat, he bought a scarlet robe. And it was so new, so fancy, so nice, that when he came home, he realized that none of his other possessions matched that new robe. His home was completely outdated, his closet was completely outdated, so he started buying things. He bought himself a new rug, he upgraded his home, and he kept on spending more and more and more money until eventually he came back to complete poverty. And this is now known as the Diderot Effect. So you see, you can spot this pattern everywhere. You know, you go on Black Friday and buy yourself a new TV, and then you come home and you're like, hey, my living room does not match my new TV. So you start upgrading, you buy a new couch, you buy new furniture, and all of a sudden, from that one TV, you end up spending this much money. Or you go and you buy yourself a new shower curtain for your bathroom, and you're like, hey, this bathroom doesn't look as good as my new shower curtain, so you start spending more money. And it doesn't have to be about buying things. You know, it's in the simple everyday things. Like you go and take out something, you put it in the trash, and you realize your trash is full. So you take that trash and you go to take it out in front of your house. You see your neighbor walking the dog. You're like, walking. I should do more exercise. So you come home and you start researching gym memberships. As James Clear puts it, we often decide what to do next based on what we have finished doing. So how can you flip this behavior to take advantage of it, to take advantage of the Diderot effect? Well, this is where habit stacking comes into play. And here's how it works. Instead of pairing a new habit with a specific time or a specific location, you pair it with an already existing habit. Let me repeat that. Instead of pairing a habit with a time or a location, you pair it with an already existing habit. You stack one habit on top of an already established one. And it looks like this. After I current habit, I will new habit. Current habit, new habit. And apologies for the repetitions. I know you get it. But it's so simple that sometimes people are like, wait, this is so simple it cannot work. It is simple, extremely powerful, so you need to get the little nuances. Current habit, new habit, habit stacking. And here's a few examples. While my morning coffee is brewing, I will do 10 push-ups. Or when I get into my car, I will close my eyes and do 5 deep breaths. Or the most trivial one, once I'm done brushing my teeth, I will start flossing. The key here is to tie your desired new habit to an already established one, essentially piggybacking on a routine that already exists in your life, and thus setting yourself up for success already. Using this tactic, you can plug a new habit before an already existing one, afterwards, or even in the middle. And these new habits don't need to be attached to something like a morning routine or an evening routine. It can be based on a location. For example, every single time I see stairs, I'm going to take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Or every single time I see something that I want to buy that's an impulse purchase over $100, I'm going to note it down on my phone, I'm going to sleep on it, wait for 24 hours, and then make a decision. The key, James Clear tells us, to creating a successful habit stack is selecting the right cue to kick things off. When and where you insert your new habit makes a huge difference. Let me give an example. A lot of the examples out there are, hey, here's what you should do in the morning routine. But let's say you have kids and you don't own your mornings. Your mornings are completely chaotic because they don't depend on you but depend on other people. Trying to plug in a new habit over there will be a recipe for disaster. Or to take the previous example, you're gonna do push-ups while you're brewing your coffee, but you drink coffee every day and you wanna do push-ups 3 times a week. You can see how things can get disconnected. Frequency matters. And all of this essentially boils down to finding the right trigger for your new habit. Here's how James Clear suggests you go about it. You brainstorm 2 lists. List number 1 is things that you do on a daily basis without fail, consistently. Things like you wake up, or your morning, I hope you wake up every day, but things like you wake up and then you brush your teeth and then you take a shower, whatever your morning routine is, chances are it might be a set of repeatable steps. And Go through your day, go through a typical day, and see what it is that you do on a consistent, repeated basis without fail. Morning routine, evening routine, going to work, whatever it might be, make a list, brainstorm of all these activities, and just write them down. Whether it's on a computer or on a piece of paper, does not matter. That's list number 1. List number 2 are things that happen on a repeatable basis, but not necessarily on a daily basis. Let me give an example. Something like every time you receive a message, receive a text message, or receive a message from a specific friend, or every time the sun rises or the sun sets. So it doesn't have to be daily, but it needs to be repeatable. So you can say, okay, every time I get a message, I'm going to do this. Or every time I see a sunrise, I'm going to do that. And the sunrise might not be the best example because it happens daily, but you get the idea. It could be every time it rains or every time the temperature is above this. Repeatable, consistent, but not necessarily daily. And now, here's the thing. Armed with these 2 lists, the repeatable everyday activities and the repeatable but not everyday activities, you can figure out what is the best trigger for your new habit. For example, every day you're gonna brush your teeth and you wanna start flossing. Well, this is the perfect combo because you brush every day, you wanna floss every day. You marry these 2, you stack one on top of the other, you essentially set yourself up for success. So this is the essence of habit stacking. But now here's the important part. You need to be ultra specific of where you start your new habit. Let's say, for example, that during your lunch break, you're gonna go for a walk. So you write down, when my lunch break starts, I'm gonna go for a walk. This is a little bit generic and it might set you up for a disaster. Here's why. Your lunch break ends. What does that mean? Is it a specific time? Is there a specific routine? Are you gonna go to the bathroom before you go for a walk? Are you gonna go have lunch while you walk? It is not specific. So here's how you can make it even better. Here's how you can make it work for you. Not during my lunch break, not when my lunch break starts, but figure out what is the last thing that you do before your lunch break. Let's say that is you close your computer down because your job is done, you're gonna take a break. So your new trigger is you close your computer down or you shut it off, whatever it might be. The specific action, you close your computer down and you go out. So it's not during lunch break you're gonna take a walk, it's gonna be after I close down my computer so I can start my lunch break, I'm just gonna take the stairs and go out. Become specific. Specificity here matters a lot. This is where people fail the most because it's seemingly easy to attach a habit to an already existing one, but you need to be very specific about what is gonna be the trigger. And a word of advice from personal experience. You might be tempted because it's so simple to attach new habits everywhere. You attach one in the morning, you attach one in the evening, you attach one in the middle. And all of these are little subtle changes. When you combine them, it creates a big change in your life. So it might be overwhelming. So here's how I suggest you go about it. Figure out your triggers, figure out your consistent basis as we talked about the 2 lists, and then create one new habit. Establish that one, make sure that one is part of your routine, and then go for the second or the third one, whatever it might be. Stack only one habit at a time. Because it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm gonna change my life just like that. No, you're gonna get overwhelmed. It's a recipe for disaster. One habit at a time, stack it on an already existing behavior, and you set yourself up for success. And habit stacking, of course, is a tactic that comes from the famous book Atomic Habits by James Clear. So if you like this one, you're absolutely gonna love this book. So go in the link below and check out the full summary. I've covered all the ideas, all the core ideas from the book and how to implement them. Check out the summary below, smash that like button, go implement those habit stacks, and I'll see you in the next one.